हेलो एवरीवन। आज की स्ट्रीम में हम लोगों ने जो पिछले स्ट्रीम में स्टार्ट किया था दैट वाज फेसबुक का पेज को क्लोन करना। विल बी कंप्लीटिंग दैट। सो लेट्स वेट फॉर अनदर 5 minutes till everyone joins. Okay, I hope my video and audio is clear to you. If you're watching this, I guess two people are watching it right now. It's quite less. Let's wait for 5 minutes to let other people join in, and then we'll start finishing off that we started, which was this Facebook page ka clone, and we'll just make it seem a little more like this. Whew. Okay, I hope my video and audio is clear to you. Alright, चलो कोई बात नहीं, हम स्टार्ट करते हैं. So basically this was the page where I left the CSS theming in the last stream. So we'll pick up from here, and basically उसके बाद मैंने कोई भी कोड को टच नहीं किया है, and I just want to share one thing, that is मैंने सारा का सारा कोड जो है वो GitHub पे पुश कर दिया है. So if you want to check the code out, you can do it as well. Basically github.com/DSC BVP पे if you go to the main page and you see the live stream web repository, इसमें episode 2 के अंदर I have the whole code. I have uploaded it, so I'll keep on updating the code as the live streams progresses, and I hope that you guys find it a little useful, if not very useful. So as I stated in my first stream, that my ultimate aim is to stream content about front-end development, that is React.js, and a little bit of back-end development if we get time, and that will be on Flask or Django most probably. So to get started with React.js, I think we need to first learn the basics of HTML and CSS, and उसके बाद थोड़ी सी JavaScript, and then we'll directly jump onto React.js. Probably 1 or 2 days more, and we'll start with React.js. So I hope people are here. Are they watching? I'll just put on a text so that everyone joins in. Okay, no issues. We'll start with this. So first of all, I would like to show you how to create this particular icon that is on the tab, which is called a fav icon. So to put a fav icon, where did I put the code? Okay. So to put the fav icon, there's just one thing. There's a single line of code. It's like this. It's on Stack Overflow if you want, but if you can memorize it, it's like this. I'll just copy it from here and I'll paste it here. So I need to have a link tag with a rel of shortcut icon and a type of image slash png, and href will be the location. So in my case it's in the assets folder under the favicon.png file. So once I do this, I'll just refresh it. I actually applied it before starting with the stream, so it already shows up here. It's cached. So if you do it using this line of code, it will show up over here. So as you can see, the tabs now look exactly the same. If I hover over it, it will say the same thing, Facebook login or sign up, and it will also say Facebook login or sign up. So let's focus on one thing, is this particular top bar right now. So as you can see here, everything is in this particular column, it's right aligned, and we need to right align this particular thing also. So in the last stream I was a little I was struggling a bit with the right alignment. So I just figured out that it's not justify content right, it's basically justify content flex end. So if I do this, the things should go towards the right side. And one more thing that I need to do right now is that right now the flex box is being applied on the parent of the division which contains the box. So I need to copy this, in fact cut this class from here, and I need to paste it over here, which is flexbox flex right. And inside the flex right parent, there are two children, that is for this div and this div, with another one that is the button, login button, and this should take care of it now. So as you can see, it went towards the right side of the right side of the column, and I need to push it a little downwards now. So what I'll do now is inside the flex right, I'll add another one, which is I can call it any class. Since these three are the children of this, I'll just add a top margin class. And since I added a top margin class, I'll come here in the CSS folder, CSS file, and write a top margin class. And inside the top margin class, I will write margin, and I'll give a top property, and I'll say about 30 pixels. So it will move it a little downwards. And also, as you can see, there is no space between these two, so I will have to add yet another class to the this division, the children of this element actually, which actually contains the input, which is this particular division. And I'll give it a class name of, say, input box margin top, and I'll give the same class to the other one, which is input blocks top, and it won't make a difference right now. I'll also have this one on the button as well. So I'll write the CSS for this, and it will be called input box top, and I'll give it a margin right margin of, say, about 5 pixels, so that the things are a little bit separated from each other. So there is a little gap over here. I want a little more gap. I'll just make it 10 pixels. So there is some gap here right now, and this button is hovering up a little because it's in line with the password and email, this text actually. I need it to be in line with this particular element here. So first of all, I'll format the text over here. It's little smaller over here as compared to my version. So I'll just format it, and inside I can just simply pick the label option, and I can put a style on that. I'll take the label tag, and I'll say the font size to be about 10 pixel. I guess it's too small. Yeah, it's too small. I'll say about 12 pixels. Yeah, that seems okay to me. And why is the stream offline? Is the stream offline right now? It's working, I guess. So it's a little too down for my liking, so I'll just reduce the margin top a little. I'll give it a margin of, say, 25 pixels and move it 5 pixels up. Yeah, it looks good now, and kind of similar to this particular page. I need to format the input button now, which is the login button. I need to have it in line with this particular option. So I'll have a hacky approach right now. I'll try if that can happen. I'll simply give it another label and I'll leave it blank for the time being. Let's see if it works. Yeah, it did work. It's a very hacky solution. I think I don't even need this. Let's see. Yeah, it's a very good जुगाड़ that you can do that सब में एक ब्रेक दे रखा है, hence it is appearing on the next line. इसलिए यहाँ पे मैंने बिना कुछ दिए एक line break दे दिया, so it is appearing on the next line. Give it a class of say login button, and I'll come to styles and write a class for the login button. I need to pick the background now, and I'll just pick the color directly. This is stealing actually, but that works. Yeah, and I'll give it a background of this copied color, and I'll give the color of the text to be white, and I want the weight of the font to be bold. Let's see if it looks good. Yeah, it kind of looks good, but there is a little border around it. So I need to have a border property to none, and let's see if it worked. Yeah, so right now it's actually literally the same color of that background, hence it's not visible properly. I'll just go here and do this. Okay, and also it's very small right now, so I'll give it a padding of say 10 pixels on each side, so it becomes a little bigger. It's too big now. I'll say 3 pixels, I guess should work, and too small, 5 pixels. So the best and the worst part about using CSS is that you are always changing stuff and then running it and trying it out, and again changing stuff and trying it out, and that's how it works. So if you are actually very good at CSS, you'll start writing CSS without actually you'll just simply write the code and you'll run it at the end, so it more or less becomes a faster process because you don't have to see the changes again and again. Alright, so let's take a minute's break and see if I have any questions at the comment box. Okay, so a question comes about explain the break jugaad once again. Okay, so I'll show you. The jugaad is basically this. I'll just comment everything out. And as you can see that all these three things are in the same line. All right, but I need to have a email title over here and password title over here. So I need to use labels for that. So if I use labels for this and not use the break tag, what will happen is this, it will appear on the left side of the input box. All right, so if now they are still in the same line. All right, so if I give a break tag, if I give a break tag after the label on both the input boxes, the label will come first, then it will have a line break. It will be easier if I do this. There will be a label, then there will be a break of line, and in the next line the input box will appear. All right, so by doing that I achieved this particular thing. But since in these two boxes there is a line break over here and there is a line break over here, however in the button there is no line break over here, so I go here and add an explicit line break over here so that the thing that is the button comes after a line break. So right now there is nothing, but if I refresh it, now there is a line break over here without any label or anything, and the button comes in the next line. I hope that answers your question. Cool. Also, since I used a text property over here and a password field over here, you can see it's writing dots over here and full name over here. So I guess the top part is completed and kind of looks similar. I won't go into making it an exact copy because I'll leave that to you. Also, I need to add this account forgot option. I think I'll skip that for now. All right. So basically this is the deal right now. I can make the text a little muter, not exact white, just a little off white maybe. What is it? Which class did I use? I used the input box top class. So in the input box top class, I can have set the color to be grayish something. I'll select white at first and I'll just go little gray from here. All right. Yeah, it does not look good now. Just not exact white, just a little off white. Yeah, more or less the same thing. So as of now, the top bar is completed, and now we can move on to the main body of the whole thing, that is this particular section. So first I'll first build the form, and inside this form there are actually three parts. One is these four text boxes, one is the selector, this, and one is the radio buttons, and another sign up button. Basically this is a form submit button. It's actually called a form where there are multiple fields and you need to have something to submit the form. You can handle the form submission directly at the front end or at the back end. It's up to you, and how it will function, we'll discuss that when we'll be doing the back end of web development. So okay, so I have one question from you all, that right now only 5 people are watching this live stream. I want to know what is the reason, because there are usually about 15 to 20 people watching the live stream at all times. Up till now, at least in the 3 live streams, I have noticed this. So is there a particular reason that only 5 people are watching it? Please let me know so that I can plan the live streams accordingly. All right, let's move forward and work on this form. So first of all, I need to have it on the, this part is a little bigger than this part, I think. No, it's in the center of the screen. All right, so I'll work on this part now, which is the sign up form. Cool. So this part is done. So what I can do is I can shrink the top bar now and focus on the main body totally. Okay, and I'll work on the footer at the end. So what you can do is that even the left division I'll focus on later. I'll be just working on the right division, this particular thing over here. All right, so this is an input group flexbox and I have added some things in it. I'll just simply remove it, or I should not remove it. Okay, I think I'll let it stay for now. And okay, so in here I need a name and a surname, and first of all let's work on this title, sign up, it is free and always will be. So I have a sign up, it is free and always will be. There is a little space here and I think I'll keep it for the time being. I won't go into much details right now. I'll just work on the input name and surname field for now. So I'll just delete this particular stuff here, which is the new password and stuff. All right, so I have just the name and the surname option, and as you can see it does not at all look like what is present over here. So we'll have to write CSS for this particular thing, and for to do that there is one thing that you can have, that you can use to edit the type of input. So this particular selector is a little different from what we have used before. So it is basically selecting all the input tags where the type is equal to text. Sorry, where the type is equal to text. If you have written password over here, it will select all the input boxes that uses the type password or submit, which is basically a button, or there's something called a refresh, I guess. Refresh, I haven't used this button, so I haven't used it in a lot of time. I haven't used it ever actually. It's not required આજકાલ. So if I use the input type equals text and give a background property of yellow, suppose, and I refresh the page, you can see all the input boxes that have the property of text, of type text, has been selected and been given the property of yellow, background property of yellow. I don't want to affect this particular box, I only want it to affect this particular boxes. So what I'll do is that I'll go and say inside the main body, select all the inputs that are of the type text and give it a background of yellow. So what it should do is now it will leave this particular box and only select the boxes that are inside the main body, this particular boxes actually. So now what I need to do is that I need to make it a little bigger. So what I'll do is first of all remove the background, and I'll give a padding of say 10 pixel all around and see how it looks like. So it's a little bigger now. I want it a little more big, 15 pixels. Yeah, that should do the work. I want the text to be a little larger, so font size, I'll give a font size of 20 pixels, I guess. Yeah, so after increasing the font size, I think I should reduce the padding because the font also takes some padding. Yeah, this should work, and I need some space between them. So what I'll do is I'll give a margin right property and give a margin of say 10 pixels here. So it will create a little gap between them, and also here you can see the buttons are rounded at the edges. So I'll give a border radius to be 5 pixels. So this is how they look like right now, but as you can see, it gives a ugly border around it which is gray, and I'm not liking it at all. So what I can do is I can have a border set to none. What happens actually is that HTML5 gives a default border to the input tags, and that border is basically this particular border that shows right here. It gives a little elevated look to the buttons, but I don't like it at all. So it's simply like this. Also, what you can do is give your own border. Let's see what Facebook is doing. Okay, so they are giving a little gray border around it, about 1 or 2 pixels. So I'll just do this. So I can have a border none, border color to be gray, I guess, and border size, border style to be solid. Okay, and if I refresh it, it will give a thick border that is gray in color around these boxes. I want it to be a little smaller, so I guess border size, I don't remember, border thickness, no, let's just Google it. Border CSS thickness, border width, it's called border width, and I'll give a border width of 1 pixel. By default it's some big value, but I can reduce the value like this. It's still a little too dark for my liking, so I'll reduce the opacity of the using this, and it's what I would like to have now. So it has a surname option and a surname option, name and surname option, and it looks more or less the same like these. All right, so there's another shorthand of doing it. Instead of writing 4 big properties of border like this, I'll just copy this color for a second, and instead of writing this whole big 4-line property, I can simply write border solid 2 pixel and the size and the color. So it won't affect it. It did affect it a little bit. Yes, it was 1 pixel. Yeah. So basically this is a shorthand of writing the 4 things. Instead of writing 4 commands, 4 properties, I'll just club it into one and write it like this. So border solid 1 pixel and the color of the border, it should do the job pretty quickly. So this is the thing right now. So what next I need is a mobile number field and a new password field. So I'll just copy the things, and there is gonna be one problem that I think I'm gonna face right now, and that is if I simply copy this, it will show up right next to it. Instead of coming on a new line, it will show on the left side of it. Yeah, so basically it shows right here. I need to fix it somehow, and I think I'll move the entire thing in a new division altogether. So I'll just copy this, hope it should work. Delete this, input type text, name, instead of name I want it mobile number or email. You have the name of say mob, place a mobile number or email, and I think it should do the work. Yeah, it's on the next line now, but as you can see, it's sticking to that particular thing and it's not expanded totally. So what I'll do is I'll give another property to this, and I'll say a big button, and I hope the stream is still working. Stream is offline for some reasons. Okay, there are some minor hiccups in the stream. I'm extremely sorry for that, but I hope you bear with me. Okay. Okay. So what I was saying is that I gave this class a new, I gave this button a new property, and I'm calling it a big button. And I'll write the CSS property for a big button, and what I'll do is I'll copy this, and I'll give a top margin right. I'll say I'll do a top margin of 10 pixel, 0, bottom margin of 0, and a left margin. Okay, I'll do this 10 pixel, 0, and 0. So it should move it a little downwards. Okay, and I need to have a big button over here. Okay. And I need to expand it a little bit. So I'll give a width of 200% because I want it to be double the size. Okay, 200, a little bit off. So actually it should be 100% plus 100% plus some gaps. 200% should work. Okay, this is again a jugaad. I'll do a 180% width and see if it works. Still doesn't work. I'll give a 190% width and see if it works. And 185. Yes, yes, yes. And 185% width works to actually enable it to be this large. Alright, so I'll just simply copy the button again, simply copy the whole division again, and I'll paste it here, and name I'll give new pass, and I'll say new password. I'll refresh it, and it will have another button, and I think new password. Now I need to have this particular thing. So first of all, I'll be needing a label, that is birthday, and then I'll be needing 3 selectors to select the birth date. All right, so till now let's see if we have any questions, and then we'll continue. Okay, no questions and no people watching it. Strange, very less people watching it today. All right, no issues, and I'll just simply continue coding. So I'll copy this division again, and new input group, and I'll just delete this thing. And what I need now is a selector. First of all, I'll need a label, and the label will be for let's say birthday, and it will be named birthday. Okay, So now I need three selectors, and to have selectors there is something called the select tag, and it's actually enclosed within the select thing, and I just simply copy it and change. I'll paste it here. So this is one select tag, and I'll give it a class of day, and instead of values I'll give some things. I won't be adding all the days of the months. I'll just be having 4 of them, so that I just have a demonstration. Alright, so it's very near, very close to this thing, so I'll just give it a line break over here, and I'll see if it works. Yeah, and I need to have a line break yet again for after the label. So br, okay, it didn't work somehow. Br, okay, so line break doesn't work. What if I create another div? So web development, basically playing with CSS is all about experimentation. For once you'll get the things to work, for sometimes you won't get the things to work, but one day it will eventually work. So still doesn't work for some reasons. And do I need a flexbox now? Okay. So basically what I did was that flexbox is actually forcing it to be horizontal, but I need it vertical, so I'll just remove this flexbox property, and now it will be having three, it will have a drop down basically next to each other. So I'll just copy it again. Let's see if it comes in the same line or the next line. Yeah, so at this moment I need, this was the day, this is the month, so I'll call it month. I'll give March, April, May, June, and I'll have another one. What you can do is actually write a JavaScript function to actually list down these months instead of hard coding it, because if you go on writing the year, it's gonna take years to write the year. 1998, 1998, 1999, 1999, 2000, 2000, 2001, and 2001. Cool. Yeah, so the drop down is here like this. So the style doesn't look like that because Facebook is using a different kind of style. I'm using the default styles, and I won't be changing it for now for the tutorial, and I'll keep it this way. I'll just increase the font size of this birthday, and should be over here label for birthday, and input group, it's fine I guess. Just give it a class. You don't need to do this actually, but it's okay. I'm just doing it for the sake of doing it. You don't need to do this. There are better ways of doing it. There are better. Font size, and I'll make it 20 pixel tall, and see how it looks. Yeah, birthday is like this now, and I'll give a padding around it of say 10 pixels so that it's a little separated from the things. Okay, it doesn't work. 0 pixel on top, left and right, 20 pixel on top and bottom, and 0 pixels on left and right. Okay, so I think it's better to give a line break instead. Okay, there's a BR. I'll just copy it 2-3 times till it gives a good. Yeah, 3 is a little too much. Give just 2 line breaks. Yeah, so now it's here. Think I need to make it a little bigger. I'll have the select tag over here. I'll just simply say select, and I'll give a font size of 15 pixels. And it actually changed the style as well. As you can see, it's the same style now. This somehow worked. I can't actually predict how it worked, but it did. So a padding of 10 pixels as well. Okay, it's not working like that. Should, but it isn't. So I don't know, something looks off to me. Maybe the size. Okay. The stream is offline again. Okay, for some reasons the stream keeps on going and coming. I don't know why. It's because of the net, I guess, or maybe something I don't know. It's something happening. I can't really say what, but the stream keeps going and coming. So I request you to please keep on watching, because if I was to end the stream, I will explicitly say that. Uh, yeah, sorry again for the stream. The video output is low. Yeah, so it's back on again. So what I did simply was, where did it go now? So what I did simply was that I increased the font size of the select tag to 15 pixels, and the padding doesn't work, so I'll just leave it over here right now. And this is how it looks now. And what I need to do next is create this radio buttons. So to create this radio buttons, I'll just go here and see this. This is a type of radio button. It gives this options. I'll just copy it from here and I'll just demonstrate how it works. There is something that you need to keep in mind about radio buttons that is very important. And we are back. And we went off again. For some reasons, I don't know. Okay, is the stream working? I think it is now. Alright, cool. Let's hope the stream keeps on working this way. And okay, so we need to add the radio buttons now, and I hope the stream still works. And I just copied a few lines of code from Stack Overflow. Actually, excuse me. And I'll just paste the thing over here. Or actually, wait. I just copy this for some. I'll copy this input group div from here. Just paste it here, and inside this I'll delete this. I'll copy this. I'll paste it. Okay. So this should give me a radio button over here which says male, female, or other. So the thing, I'll just remove other because it's not there on the Facebook page. It's just female and male. This should be a little more inclusive about genders. Basically, Tinder states that there are 37 genders. So I'll just have male and female for now because Facebook says so. Before that, I'll give some line breaks over here because why not? And inside this I want you to notice one thing, that here checked, this checked properties basically states that if I refresh the page, which particular box is actually checked, and if I remove this, both will be unchecked. So this basically states by default which box is checked. Also, you can see that there is a value. This value is useful when actually connecting it with a backend or JavaScript to actually get the values. If the value selected is male and it is checked, it will give true, otherwise it will give a false. And also I want you to notice that this is very important field which is called the name. If you change the gender here, Okay, the stream went off again. I don't know why it is happening. Can anyone tell me why it is happening? Okay, anyway, next time I'm gonna use a separate monitor to see if it is working or not. I'm really sorry for this. Okay, so basically this name field in the radio button is very important. If I give a separate name to this, suppose gender2, and I'll call it gender1, what will happen is that these both will function independently. So this particular thing have no link. So if I have this type of thing, suppose I have multiple radio buttons with 4 of them which are called gender2 and 5 of them which are called just gender, and I refresh this, you can see I can select between these males and I can select between these females. So there is all the radio buttons with the same name belong to the same group, but if I have to switch between these two, I'll have to give them the same name. If I do gender1 all over here, now if I refresh it, you can see I can select only one of all the groups. Alright, so I'll just remove all the males and the females from the stuff. Okay, how do I remove all the male and the female stuff? Anyway, so this is what we want right now, and the size is a little bigger, so I'll just go here, I'll just copy main body. If sorry, main body input, and again type equals check radio this time because it's a radio button, and font size, I'll give it a font size of 15 pixel and margin right of 10 pixel again. If I refresh it, okay, it's a little it's actually getting a little margin from here, but instead it should have, oh god, is it live again? I guess it is. For some reason the live stream isn't working as smooth. Anyway, so I have the male and female option over here, and for the final thing I just need this particular block, which is the paragraph tag, and this particular button. So I'll just simply write a paragraph over here. I'll create another div, and I'll create another paragraph, and I'll just copy this, and I pray that it should work. Yeah. Now I need to reduce the size of this paragraph, so I'll come to styles again, and inside the main body, I'll select all the paragraph tags, and I'll say the font size should be 10 pixels. So it's reduced. It reduced the font size now. It's coming in 3 lines right now. I think there is no icon. What I can do is I can limit the width of the paragraph text. I say width should be 50 pixels. No, 50 is too less. 100 pixels, and I think it should be okay. It's too less. I'll say 250 pixels. Yeah, it's fine. Almost. It's a little bigger. Say 270 pixel, and font size I'll give it's 12 pixels. Yeah. Or maybe 300 pixels, or maybe a little more, 20 pixels. Yeah, so now it's in 3 lines, and it ends at data policy from any time. data policy from and anytime. Also, I'll give it a color which is a little muted, or I'll use the opacity tag and give a opacity in points. 1 is 100% opacity, 0 is 0% opacity, and 0.6 is 60% opacity. So it works like this. Alright, cool. So there's one thing that is left now, that is the big green button, which is sign up, and this particular thing. I'm not gonna do this one, I'll just use this particular button. So I'll have another button here. I'll make another div. Put a break here, and I'll put another div. And inside this div, I'll create a button, and I'll give the button class to be big green button. And this big green button will say sign up, and this big green button will look ugly right now like this. So I'll just create some classes for the big green button. So I'll say big green button, and first of all I'll increase the font size to a bit. Font size should be say 50 pixels. Padding on the top and bottom should be 5 pixels, and from the left and right it should be about 20 pixels. And the font weight should be bold, and I think, let's see what it gives me. Gives me nothing for some reason. Okay, it's just big green. It's big green button. Okay, it's too ugly. Too ugly. I'll give the font size to be 20 pixel only. Okay, and top and bottom padding to be 15, and this I can give 40. All right, little more, say 70. Cool. Nope, not cool. Should be 5. Okay, so yeah, I guess a little more than 5. 8 should do. Font weight bold is fine. I'll give a background of a good green color. I'll use this color dropper again. I'll use from this link. It's basically called Colorzilla, I guess, if I'm not wrong. And this Colorzilla is used to color stuff. Again, it's a gradient. I'll just pick this color and I'll give a linear gradient again. And I'll just copy the above linear gradient. This one, just change the colors. 0 degree, this color should be this color which I selected. Okay, I'll copy the RGB. I'll paste it here, and I'll copy again color. Just the darker green. I'll paste it here. I think it will be reversed, but I don't think it should matter. Okay, did not pick it correctly. The darker green. Alright. Cool. So okay, as I said, it's reversed. Should be 180 degrees, and the color should be white. Yes. Also, there should be some kind of border radius. Let's say 5 pixels. And it still doesn't look good because it has a border around it. And I'll again use the same border from here, just with the increase blackness, maybe that's the word, and a little more black, and this should do the trick. Yeah, kind of looks the same. Maybe not. Why? I think this should be a little darker. Okay, not the same, but close enough. So I'll be satisfied with this one. Yeah. Okay. Now for the last bit, I can create this particular one. I'll simply do a jugaad here. I'll simply put a paragraph text. I'll put a paragraph and I'll put it in strong. What strong tag does is actually puts the thing directly into bold, and I don't need to make it bold myself using CSS, just like this. Alright, the Facebook button doesn't look very good. This button doesn't look very good. Maybe reduce this part, this value. This value. Okay, the stream went off again. The stream keeps on going. I don't like it. Okay, so this is it, and this part is done, I guess. It looks like this. Looks like this over here. And let's focus. I guess the right part is done. So yippee, we have created the right part. And I think now let's focus on the left part. I don't think there is much to do here. It's just that it's in 2 lines and mine is in 3 lines right now. So I'll just increase the width of this particular thing. So where did my code go now? It's working. All right. Okay, so the left part is over here. Facebook lets you connect and share with people, and it's in the info text part, and I'll just increase the width of the info text. I'll just find it, info text. Width, I'll give a width of say 80%. Yeah, and it's done, and the main body is done, and I just need to work on the footer. This should be quite easy. This should be very easy. Just copy this. Just copy this. Come here. Inside the footer, I'll make a paragraph and I'll just paste it there. And it should work. Alright, not exactly how it's supposed to work. The font and everything is off, but it is here. I'll just do one thing that I know what will fix it. Create a div, and the div will be called container, and inside this container will be the things that I require. Yep. And I'll inside the footer, the paragraph, I'll select all the footer paragraph. Inside the footer, the paragraph, I'll select the font size and give it 12 pixel font size. Okay, cool. And I should give a spacing between them because there is kind of spacing between them. First I'll give opacity of 0.7 and spacing. Let's just Google it how to give word spacing to things. CSS word spacing. Oh, there's a thing called word spacing. CSS is such a good language. I'll simply say word spacing and I'll give a spacing of 20 pixels. Yeah, 20 is a little too much, I guess. I'll give it a 15 pixel spacing. Okay, still too much. 10. Yeah, that should work. And after this, I'll give a HR tag. This HR tag is basically used to give a line like this, and it's the same kind of line that is over here. And now I'll just copy this stuff. I'll give another paragraph after the line T, and I'll just paste it over here. Just simply pasted stuff, so it should not look very good, but it should work. Yeah, it looks shit AF. After group there is a gap, so after group sign up, login, messenger, Facebook. I'll just do this for the time being just because I'm in a hurry. Facebook Lite, find friends, the profile. Some reason the copied font, copied text doesn't look good. The profile. Okay, working again. So the profile, I don't know. The people profile and page are separate. The people profile page are separate. Page categories, place port, places, port. Okay, I won't do this. Categories, place. Okay, I'll skip this. I'll skip this. I won't do this. It's just too much work for now. Just do this. And are they in blue? Yes, they are in blue. So I'll just give them a blue color. Excuse me. Give a blue color. The anchor tag color. Just a mock-up, so it doesn't really matter. But little bit. I'll just give a little bit. Oh, it's too white. Yeah. Not the exact links color. Yep. And that's it. Ladies and gentlemen, the Facebook page mockup for you. I hope it is working. Ah, it's gone again. Yeah, it's back again, I guess. Is it back again? Yeah, it's back again, I guess now. So this is the Facebook page that we created using plain HTML and CSS versus this is the actual Facebook page that is available on the facebook.com site. What am I speaking right now? So basically we were able to successfully mock this page up. You can use it as a very nice phishing page if you want, but my objective was to teach the basics of CSS and HTML, and I think I have covered most of the tags in it. And since I have covered most of the tags, I think if you go through the 2 hours of the playlist, not the playlist, the two videos that are present on the page. um, I hate this. I hate this. Today's network is giving me a lot of problems. So thank you everyone for watching this live stream. I'll be back tomorrow with yet another video. I'll upload the code in the GitHub repository. If you want, you can check out the code. If you want, you can watch the videos again. It will be up in a few minutes. And thank you everyone for watching. Bye bye.